Hearty welcome to EPG Pathshala course on research methodology. I am Dr. K. Ramya, Assistant Professor from Avinash Lingam School of Management Technology, Avinash Lingam Institute for Home Science and Higher Education for Women, Coimbatore. In this module, we will discuss the test of significance for large sample. Introduction. Test of significance is basically performed after framing the hypothesis, that is the tentative statements at say 1%, 5% and 10% level. The level of significance denoted as alpha represents the probability of error or chances of making wrong decisions. The choice of significance level stays with the researcher and it has to be cautiously decided based on the subject area of research. For example, in case of clinical researches, 1% level of significance is advisable as it needs high levels of accuracy. On the other hand, researchers in social sciences can use significance level of 5% or even 10% as the results will not lead to fatal consequences even if it is wrong. Given below is the significance level and its corresponding confidence level, which represents the researcher's confidence in reporting the decisions. In this case, if it is 99%, that means 100 minus significance level, and if you look at, if the significance level is 1%, then confidence interval is 99% and so on. We need to assess the statistical significance using p-value. In order to do that, we need to examine the test p-value. For instance, if significance level is 5%, then the below given p-values could be considered, that is, if the significance level is less than or equal to 0.05 in case of significance level as 5%, then you can reject the null hypothesis and accept the alternate hypothesis. Whereas, if the p-value is greater than 0.05, then we have to fail to reject the null hypothesis, or in other words, we have to fail to accept the alternate hypothesis. Now, let us move on to the test of significance for large sample. Large sample means a size greater than 30. Z-test is generally applied for large samples. Z-test is a statistical test for approximately normally distributed data. Because of the central limit theorem, many test statistics are approximately normally distributed for large samples. The conditions to be fulfilled for Z-test are: the sample size should be large and the population variance, that is the standard deviation, is known. If the population variance is not known, then sample standard deviation may be used. Large sample test. The following tests are discussed under this heading: test of significance for proportion, test of significance for difference between two proportions, test of significance for mean, and test of significance for difference between two means. Now, let us move on to large sample test of hypothesis, the step-by-step procedure. Step 1 is to identify the null hypothesis. Step 2 is to identify the alternate hypothesis that must be true when the original claim is false. It can be differently written for one-tailed test and two-tailed test. The third step is to calculate the test statistics, which is given with the formula as shown here. Select the significance level alpha based on the seriousness of type 1 error. The significance level can be 0.05 or 0.01. These are commonly used. Determine the critical values and the critical region. Draw a graph and include the test statistic, critical values and critical regions. Reject the null hypothesis if the test statistic is in the critical region. Fail to reject the null hypothesis if the test statistic is not in the critical region. Restate this decision in simple, non-technical terms. Let us look at this example. Given a data set of marks of 212 students where the mean was 75.5 and standard deviation is 5.5 at the 5% significance level, test the claim that the mean score of all students is equal to 78. In this case, as the sample size is above 30, we can use the large sample test. I would like to reiterate that large sample is carried out when n is greater than 30. Let us now move on to the test of significance for proportion. This is a hypothesis test of a proportion can be done when the following conditions are met. Sample follows simple random sampling, and each sample point can result in just two possible outcomes, success or failure. The sample includes at least 10 successes and 10 failures. The population size must be at least 20 times as big as the sample size. Here we check whether the sample proportion is equal to population proportion. The sample distribution of proportion is approximately normal with a mean or expected value. The formula for this proportion test is given here, where the P cap is the sample proportion, P naught is the population proportion, Q is 1 minus P, and N is the sample number. Let us go in for some examples. In a random sample of 800 toys from a large toy shop, 240 toys were for playing purpose. Can it be said that toys for playing purpose and toys to be kept in the showcases are in the ratio of 5:3 in the population? Use 5% level of significance for this test. The null hypothesis is proportion of playing toys and showcase toys in the population are in the ratio 5:3. Moving to the solution, we are given n is equal to 800 and x, that is the number of toys in the sample, that is the playing toys in the sample, is 240, and p, the observed proportion of the playing toys in the sample, is 240 divided by 800, which gives you 0.30, whereas in case of showcase toys, it is 560 divided by 800, that's equal to 0.70. So, we can easily tell that the actual proportion between the playing toys and showcase toys is 0.7:0.3. But what is given in the question is 5:3, which to our common logic seems to be untrue. Statistically, the same is tested, and since the calculated Z value, that is the observed value, is greater than the expected Z value, we reject our null hypothesis at 5% level of significance and conclude that the playing toys and showcase toys in the population are not in the ratio of 5:3. Let us look into another example. Example 2. In a sample of 200 parts manufactured by a factory, the number of defective parts was found to be 15. The company, however, claimed that only 5% of their products is defective. Is the claim tenable? N is equal to 200, X is equal to number of defectives, that's equal to 15, and P, the proportion of defectives, works out to be 0.075, but the company claims only 5% as defective, which is not true, as we can see that the defectives percentage is 7.5. Can we test it statistically? Yes, it's possible. Since the calculated value, that is the observed value, is greater than the expected value of Z test, we reject our null hypothesis at 5% level of significance and conclude that the company's claim is not tenable. Let's now move on to the test of significance for difference between two proportions. Compare two sample proportions, each from a different group. Are the two groups the same? Are they different? You can see the formula for the Z test, where P cap 1 is sample proportion, P cap 2 is sample proportion 2, N1 is sample 1 number, N2 is sample 2 number. Going to the example, in a referendum submitted to the students' body at a university, 920 men and 450 men voted. 530 of the men and 310 of the women voted yes. Does this indicate a significant difference of the opinion on the matter between men and women students? So you can see that N1 is 920, X1 is 410, therefore P1, that is the proportion, is 410 by 920, which comes to 0.45. N2 is 450, X2 is 370, and the proportion P2 is 370 divided by 450, which gives 0.82. For a common sense knowledge, we can notice the difference between the two proportions, but let us check it statistically also. Since the observed value of Z is greater than the expected value of Z when applied in the formula and using the table values, we reject our null hypothesis at 5% level of significance and say that the data indicate a significant difference of the opinion on the matter between men and women students. The second example, in a certain city, 325 men in a sample of 1000 are found to be self-employed. In another city, the number of self-employed is 1375 in a random sample of 2000. Does this indicate that there is a greater population of self-employed in the second city rather than the first? If you look at the N1, it is 1000, X1 is 325, the proportion is 0.325, N2 2000, X2 1375, and the proportion works out to be 0.688. At the glance, we can see the difference can be noted in self-employment between two cities. Let us check it statistically. We normally compare the observed value and the table value of Z test. Since the observed value is greater than the table value, we reject the null hypothesis at 5% level of significance and say that there is a significant difference between the two population proportion. Let us now move on to test of significance for mean. You can see the formula for Z test, where X bar is the sample mean and mu is the hypothetical mean of the population, and we have standard deviation, and n is the total number of observations. If it is a normally distributed population and the variances are known, we use this formula. But when the population is not normally distributed, whereas the sample is greater than 30, then we use the formula which is as given below. The point to be noted is, if standard deviation of population is not known, we can consider the standard deviation of sample represented by small s. Moving to the example, the mean lifetime of 200 fluorescent light bulbs produced by a company is computed to be 3140 hours with a standard deviation of 240 hours. If m is the mean lifetime of all the bulbs produced by the company, test the hypothesis m is equal to 3200 hours against the alternative hypothesis m1 is 3200 hours using a 5% level of significance. Here we can notice m, the population mean is 3200 hours, x sample mean is 3140 hours, SD of the sample 240 hours, n is 200. From a common sense knowledge, it can be seen that the population mean and sample mean are different. Yet, let us use the formula and see whether there is statistical difference. Now, on applying the data in the formula, we can see that the observed Z value is greater than the expected Z value. So, we reject our null hypothesis at 5% level of significance, and it can be concluded that there is significant difference between the sample mean and population mean. Let us now move on to the next test of significance for difference between two means. It is much more common for a researcher to be interested in the difference between means rather than the specific value of the means themselves. Like for instance, what is the difference between the mean score of male and female in a class? This test covers how to test for difference between means from two separate groups of subject. The formula for two groups of means is given here. Let us move on to the example. A test of the breaking strength of two different types of cables was conducted using sample N1 is equal to N2 is equal to 100 pieces of each type of cable. And it is noted that cable 1 has got a mean of 1425, cable 2 has got a mean of 1405. The standard deviation of the first cable is 40 and S2 has a standard deviation of 30. Now, does this data provide sufficient evidence to indicate a difference between the mean breaking strength of the two cables with 5% level of significance? From a common sense perspective, we can see that there is difference in mean in two cables, but let us check it statistically by applying the formula. Since the observed value is greater than the expected value, we reject the null hypothesis. Therefore, the formulated null hypothesis is wrong. That is, there is significant difference in the breaking strength of two cables. Let us see another example. Example 2. The means of two large sample of 500 and 1000 items or 47.5 centimeters and 48 centimeters respectively. Can the samples be regarded as drawn from the population with standard deviation 2.5 centimeters? Test at 5% level of significance. Here, population 1 is 500 items, population 2 1000 items, mean 1 is 47.5 centimeters, mean 2 48 centimeters, and SD of the population is 2.5 centimeters. We can see that the samples are not drawn from the same population, but let us test it statistically using z-test. We can see on calculation that the observed value is greater than the expected value, so we reject the null hypothesis at 5% level of significance and can conclude that the samples have not come from the same population. Conclusion: z-test is used when population mean is normally distributed and standard deviation is known, and when the sample size is large, that is n is greater than 30. We have discussed the following test for significance for large sample, that is the test of significance for proportion, test of significance for difference between two proportion, test of significance for mean, and finally the test of significance for difference between two means. Z-test is different from t-test, which follows a t-distribution. Also, when the sample size becomes larger in t-test, then it closely resembles the z-test. T-test and z-test are similar in calculation except for distribution, and the formula varies slightly between t-test and z-test. However, in SPSS, we cannot find this difference. For large sample also we use this menu and the test, we use the same menu and the test, and the results are given as T statistics instead of Z statistics. Therefore, researchers need not get confused with the results of SPSS. For large sample, the T statistic results of SPSS can be read as Z test. Thank you. Happy learning.